Hi guys, today we're going to discuss protective orders. Protective orders, okay? They can be, they're always issued out of the family court in mostly every state. And I want to talk about how these protective orders can affect you guys, okay? A lot of the times, and I'm speaking to mainly men, sometimes females, a lot of times you guys don't fight protective orders when you get a summons or a citation or you get served with one because you're like, I don't care nothing about her. Stay away from her. I don't care. I don't like her anyways. Yeah, I'll stay away from her. And then you don't fight it. Guys, people will use protective orders to get an edge on you in court, either in a criminal case where they have you as a defendant, where they've lied on you or tried to get you in trouble for something, okay? Didn't tell the police exactly how something happened, and you've been charged with family violence or some assault charge or a stalking charge or some sort of harassment charge, okay? Or they can use it to gain an edge on you guys in custody court, okay? Protective orders can severely restrict the type of possession and access that you can get for your children. Okay? What do I mean by that? What I mean is, if there's a protective order that the mother is a part of, they're not going to allow you to know where the children reside, where they live. That mother is going to always be able to protect her address from you. You won't even know where your kids lay their head. And if you don't know where your kids lay their head, guess what else could happen? You won't be able to go pick them up for a visit. You'll have to meet at a central location, and what if she doesn't come? What if she doesn't show? It gives her a foothold to be able to play around with you with respect to visitation. She'll say you weren't there. She'll say you were late. She'll try to play games with you. And then you'll have to take her to court just to be able to see your kids. Another thing that people like to do is slide the children off in the protective order. Okay, slide the children off in the protective order. And depending on what lies they tell, that protective order can be pretty restrictive, and it will mess with any sort of child support order that you have, custody order that you have. It can severely restrict or stop your visitation completely for your kids. And then you got to think about it. If you have your visitation severely restricted or stopped, or your hands are tied with respect to being around the mom and these kids, guess what happens next, guys? The court's going to follow suit. The court's going to follow suit in the family court. Meaning, hey, if you can't do the visits, okay, in the manner in which you're trying to do them, then why do you have them? And the court may just need to modify your visitation to be supervised visitation forever. Possibly. So, these are one of the reasons that you always fight protective orders, because it can have a huge bearing on you guys in custody. And a lot of the times women will go ahead and file these protective orders trying to get an edge on dad in the custody arena, okay? And they do it all the time. They'll file a protective order, get that protective order, use that protective order to be able to restrict dad's rights in the child support and in the possession and access court, okay? So always look out for that. In addition, in the criminal courts, they will use protective orders, to kind of use it to be indicative of guilt. They're not supposed to be allowed to do that. But your attorney would have to challenge the fact that a protective order, a protective order tries to come in at a trial. The DA can use it as an indication of guilt, okay? You don't fight a protective order, or you sign and agree to a protective order. Why would you do that if you weren't doing any of the things that they claim or they allege that you did? In addition to that, why would you not show up if somebody says that you did something that you did not do? So I know it's commonplace for a lot of men, much of the time men, but people, period, not to fight protective orders because they're like, I'm not calling that person anyways. I'm not going around them anyways, so I don't care. Don't ever do that, guys. It's the first step to severely restricting your rights as a parent, or B, making sure they put the nail in your coffin on the criminal side if there's a criminal case that's out. And then in addition to that, guys, if there's a protective order out, God, I hate to say this, but she can almost just about lie on you, okay? And say you did something, and say that you called her when you didn't, or say that you reached out to her, or say you communicated with her in a bad way when you didn't do anything and didn't say anything that was against the order. Maybe she said something rude to you, and maybe you shut down the conversation. But now she's going to use that as a harassing communication, or to say that you went against the protective order and contacted her. You know, women, another thing, guys, what women will do is they will bait your behind. They will bait you in, okay? They will get a protective order against you, and they'll say, don't worry about it, and they'll contact you and call you over to the house and all these things, and then wham! Something happens that you don't like, or something happens that she doesn't like, and she calls the police, and then you're in trouble. You're hit with a misdemeanor, violation protective order, automatically, gone to jail, no bond at first, because they're going to claim that you violated protective order, and that is a criminal offense, okay? It's a misdemeanor, but it's a criminal offense nonetheless. So if there is a protective order that is against you, and that woman wants to talk to you and deal with you, she better do darn well go to court and get it dropped, get it taken care of, or do not talk to her, guys. Because women will use that as a way to get their way with you, and then when they don't get their way, because so-and-so is calling your phone because y'all have been broken up, and you have moved on with another woman, they find out about it, and they get mad while you're at the house, and it becomes a blow up, and y'all are going back and forth about it, and then the cops are called, or then the neighbor calls, then you're going to jail. So I always tell my clients, I'm like, look, I know she would talk to you, I know she keeps calling your phone, but I would not be talking to her on any lines that lead back to myself. It'd be burnt lines, if that, burnt phone, burner, if that, and you really need to be abiding by the court order. But I can't, sometimes you can't tell people what to do. They'll want to pick that phone up and contact, and it's like, you better make her get your burner phone. She started it, or you better tell her you can't talk to her until she goes and does something about that protective order. Women will go and do something about that protective order. They like you enough. They want to talk to you enough. They'll go do something about that protective order. They will stand in court and say that they don't want it, and then it helps you out, because that's indicative of their credibility. They brought you to get this protective order against you, and now they are stepping back on it, and they're saying that they don't want it anymore. And why wouldn't they want it anymore? Huh? If they were really so afraid of you and you were just this evil, scary person, why would they no longer want this protective order? So it's a good way, for women to get a foothold, or for men to get a foothold against you in different cases. I don't care if you're not contacting that person or you don't care about what they're talking about, allow that protective order proceeding to go forward, and you don't have a lawyer and you're not present. You need to have both. Get a lawyer and be present. And if you can't afford a lawyer, gosh darn it, you be present. Be present every time. Do not get hit with a protective order lawsuit that you don't answer. It's the worst thing to be defaulted. And once you get them, and depending on how long they are, it is heck getting rid of them, guys. It is heck getting them modified or getting them thrown out. Okay? Just thought I'd let you guys know that. I've been seeing a lot of protective orders come up, especially with COVID going on right now, and people being stuck in the home together, and just a lot of little domestic disputes, not even so much as assaultive in nature, just a little verbal sometimes, and it leads down the road to places we don't want it to go. So, and I mean legally, because, just the spat, and then the neighbor calls, and things happen, guys. So always protect yourselves. Just want to let you guys know that. Y'all have a fantastic day. If you guys have any questions, feel free to email me. You can do that. Feel free to give my office a call, and add me on Instagram, She a Lawyer. She_ya, YA_lawyer. Have a good night. Bye.